That's a nice beat, man. Welcome back to the channel. It's Harry from Whipped Cream Sounds, and today we're gonna be making a beat. Last night I was messing around with, I was playing piano basically, and I came up with this cool melody, and I called it the Loch Ness Monster because it's in C Locrian, and I thought it was wicked. So we're gonna make a beat out of it. It's 160, well it's 80 BPM, but I think I want to go for 160. But let's just have a listen to the sample. It's great. Dum 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 dum. Yeah, I want the palm. Whoo! Let's copy that over to the 808. And I want to get some glide on this 808, so I'm just going to turn the glide on here, and we're going to go like maybe 102 milliseconds. So we're gonna have to duplicate every single note, like literally slightly before, so we can get that nice little glide up. Then we want to start getting some drums in there. So we're gonna copy that melody over. I want to get a drum rack in here. What I want is a snap. I want a little like click of the fingers. Dum, dum, Duplicate, 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 duplicate. I might want to layer these snaps a little bit, put them in a group, and I want to layer them to give them like that more kind of like acoustic loose feel. Just pop them off grid a little bit from each other. This one's slightly off to the right. Just gives it a bit more like width on that. Duplicate those, and then we're gonna grab another snap. Maybe that. Pull the fade in a little bit. Yes, okay, right. Get rid of that clap again. Let's push that over to the left a little bit. Get rid of these ones here. Duplicate those. Cool, and in and around there, we probably want a counter melody coming in as well. But first, I want to work on these drums. I definitely want that in there for like a little like offbeat snare somewhere. I like that hat. Let's put the hat here. Try this one. Grab that one in there as well. Yeah, that kick sounds cool. Something like that. And then we want the offbeat snare. Yeah, that's nice, but I'm gonna have that in like the second part, because I don't really want too much coming in the start. I literally just want it. Yeah, that's cool, I really like that. First of all, I think I'm gonna turn this down to 150 though. That's a nice beat, man. Now, for the intro, I want to get this same like kind of piano sound, but like maybe a different something, like maybe some signs or something. And I'm just going to grab that same MIDI that was in C Locrian and just put it in there. And we should have the same stuff, and then we're just going to elongate the notes. I want to put that on the size and the mix. So we got like a nice kind of like weird detune thing going on. And I want the verb size to be both ways, a little tiny bit. Take these notes out, and I'm just gonna have the chords. So really annoyingly, I did actually record this whole video, but for some reason, the second video that I recorded, the screen's just not moving. I'm just gonna have to go over what I did and how I got to the finished result. The next thing that I did from the point where we were in the production was I changed the serum preset up a bit. So I already had that analog BD sign, which you knew, but I just added 7 voices of unison and then I detuned it a bit. And then I added some white noise to add a little bit of height to the sound. Now, if I solo it, you'll be able to hear the difference with the unison and how it sounds. Then I added that white noise, which just adds the height. And then I added a saw wave. I detuned it a bit on the fine tune, and then I went for 7 voices of unison and just put the detune back a little bit. And I also put that low filter on just to take out the highs of the saw wave. Otherwise, it would sound way too harsh for the type of beat we're making. Then I added a lead in and I wanted to put a flute in. So I literally went into Diva and I found this slide flute, which sounds like this. Really nice, clean flute, and it just sounds cool. And this is the melody I put in. It's a very, very simple melody. Just goes F, C, F, A sharp, F, C, D sharp, F, C, and it just repeats. This was layered with another melody, which was down here. And as you can see, I've resampled this melody from Diva. The original one is not reversed. So if I just reverse this back, you'll be able to hear the original one. And as you can hear, it just doesn't really fit with the rest of the stuff like that. So I decided to reverse it and then change it round, and it fits really well. Then the next thing I did was expand on the drums with a lot of Foley, and I actually used the Foley pack from my website, which you can get completely for free. There's like 280 sounds of Foley in there that I recorded myself, and I use them all the time to spice up my drum patterns and make them sound more interesting. First one we got is this little metal lock sound. Then on top of that, I added an open hat effects, which is basically just an open hat with a huge Valhalla supermassive reverb. I changed the settings around here a bit, just the delay down a bit to make the reverb smaller. And I also took the lows out to get rid of the kind of muddy frequencies. Then we added this bell effect and we just scooped out the lows and the highs. Then I added this, which is another from my Foley pack, just like the metal lock up there, and it sounds like this. Rustic, but like a room reverb knock. And I added a frequency shifter to that and an EQ8 just to scoop out the lows and take out the highs as well. Sounds kind of dead, but if we put it up to 280 hertz. Then I added some fry and bacon sounds, which is also from my Foley pack, and we just scooped out the EQ here. Then the second to last thing we have is the bacon hat, and this is just that resampled down here, and I put some enveloping on it, as you can see, just to make it shorter. And then we have the B stack, which is literally just a stack of voices. Then we also added a drum fill, and all that was just a load of toms, and I just went on the MIDI and I just played around with different patterns until I got it right. And then if we listen without the effects, it's not the same. Then the next thing I did was I worked on the 808 because I wanted it to stand out more. On its own, it just sounded a bit dead. So if I turn off what I did, we'll listen to the original 808. And as you can hear, it sounds cool, but it just doesn't quite have that knock that we want. So to get it punching through the mic, there's a really cool technique you can use, and you basically turn your sample into an instrument rack, and then you duplicate the chain, and you'll put one of them 12 semitones up. Then I took out the EQ over here on the lows, just so that it doesn't react with the lows here and cause a muddy, horrible time. It adds that extra height that it needs, and then the saturation is just the cherry on the cake. Then the next thing I did was work on making the bass in the intro sound a lot more interesting. That sounds like this right now. And to make it sound a lot more professional, I found a bass slide in Ableton and I just added it every couple of beats or bars. I'm not really sure. I just added a MIDI clip in just where it sounded right to me, and it gives the bass that extra depth. Then to make the bass sound a lot more professional and a lot cooler than it was if we listened to it without the stuff I did. It sounds cool, but it just sounds way too dry. So to combat that, I basically did some multi-band reverb. Because it's a bass, you don't want reverb on the low end. So to do that, I just opened up an audio effect rack and then set up 3 different chains. So I've got the low here and I put a multi-band compressor on it and I just solo the low. So we've only got lows coming through. Then I've got another audio effect rack over here, which has a high and a mid chain, which also has a multi-band compressor on it, solos the high and solos the mid. Then on this high and mid channel, you pop a reverb on it. So it's only affecting the high and mid of the bass and the lows are completely unaffected. And then I put a saturator on the end as well, just to give it a bit of extra grit. Then on the end of that, I put an EQ8 just to take out some of the highs of the reverb because I didn't want it too in the high end. It sounds cool, kind of like underwater. Then I also added this banana bag thing in as well, which is another effects from my Foley pack. And I just played around with this, frequency shifted it, and played around with the EQ to remove the lows and the highs, put a big reverb on it, and put an auto pan on it so it had a bit of rhythm. Now the auto pan is on phase of 0 degrees, so that means it's gonna automate the volume rather than pan left to right. So it kind of acts as like a cool sidechain effect. Then the next thing I did was layer the original Serum chord with an organ and an ARP. And the ARP sounds something like this. With everything else, that sounds wicked, honestly. And then under that Serum layer, I took a organ from Omnisphere and I chose the Hammond percussion one here. It's like kind of like a marimba. Then if we play that with the Serum preset, it just adds a lot more to it. Then I popped an RC20 on here, which is pretty much just wobbling and detuning the hell out of it, and then a little bit of reverb on the end of that. And then I put an extra reverb on it just to give it a bit more space. It sounded cool. I did take the reverb off because I was like, why am I putting 2 reverbs on? But it sounded better with 2 reverbs, so I just kept it. That is pretty much it for the sound design and the production and everything like that. The next thing I did was structure. And for the structure, I basically just put some different effects in. I had this reverse cymbal here just to make things flow a little bit more. And then I had this ambience here to make it sound a bit more cool in the intro. Added some gain automation on this as well at the start of the track just to bring it up and bring it into the track rather than straight like. And then I also took this lead here, the reverse lead, and I cut it up just to tease it in the intro and layered it with the same lead over there, so we got something going on. Then I also took this Loch Ness Monster melody, copied and pasted it, and then I took the last section here and I reversed it and then put a little fade on it. And then I put a gap in a lot of things there for the drum fill here. It's a really good beat, or at least I think so. I'm so happy with it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Was it a good beat? Was it not? I'd love to hear. And also, as a bonus, there's like tons of free stuff over on the website you can go download for free over on the website. The link's in the description. We also got a piano chord cheat sheet, which is wicked. You can get the digital download for free, and there's actually a real life poster, which I'm gonna go get it. A real life version of the poster, which has all your major and minor chords, the basic ones, the sevenths, augmenteds, all that cool stuff that you can look at, glance at on the wall, and have a chord progression really easily and quickly. You can go buy that over on the website, or you can get the free download. I'll leave both of the links in the description. Thank you for watching. Apologize for the video breaking. I hope this helped you out. If it did, leave a comment below, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, all that cool stuff for more content. I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.